I grew up in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and Pine Bluff, and a little bit of Dallas, Texas, too. I always enjoyed the military, particularly being around military personnel. I went down to ROTC summer camp, and I enjoyed it. I made straight A's in the military. I went down to Fort Hood and sworn in as a second lieutenant.
James Stone began a distinguished lifelong military career in 1948, training recruits at Fort Ord, California. Shipped out to North Korea in 1951, the 28-year-old first lieutenant found himself assigned to defend an outpost above the Imjin River near Sakkogi. Chinese Communist forces had begun raining a heavy barrage of artillery on the position, and it was believed that a fearsome ground offensive would soon follow.
We were about a mile in front of our positions, and I moved the entire platoon out there, and we moved in or closed the perimeter about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, about 9 o'clock, artillery fire started coming in real heavy, real strong. And we knew that the enemy was coming up to get us. Well, they had a reinforced infantry battalion that hit us first. And now that normally up to about 1,000 men. By the end of, I'd say, 1:30 or 2 o'clock, I thought we were beginning to hold. And then they turned loose another battalion against us.
Facing as many as 800 enemy troops, Stone continued to call in artillery and provide moral support to his outgunned company. When a flamethrower operator was killed and his weapon damaged, Stone personally repaired the weapon, restoring it to the defensive line.
Of course, they come in a ring of grenades, concussion grenades, and they threw over 100, at us. We lost a lot of blood. Almost everybody was not wounded once, he was wounded twice.
His forces dwindling, Stone picked up the platoon's only remaining light machine gun and carried it from one position to another, trying to break the Chinese advance. Critically exposed, he was struck in the neck by enemy fire.
One of my men put a bandage around my neck. I don't know who he was to this day. I wished I knew who he was and if he is still alive. He saved my life by putting that bandage around my neck, stopping the bleeding. By the time I gathered the last 7 or 8 men together, I told them if they could break out of there, I would cover for them because I wasn't in a position to go with them. But I would cover for them, and they could perhaps break out. And they all said, no, we'd rather go down. We're gonna stay right here and fight it out. Not a single man threw their hands up. Of course, I about lost consciousness at that time. When I woke up, I was way behind the Chinese line. There was 6 of us captured or taken prisoner.
On September 3, 1953, after 22 months as a prisoner of war, Stone was released to the Allied forces.
You can't imagine how happy you were. The first thing I did was look up to that American flag. Boy, what a great relief, or a great, wonderful feeling to see that American flag again. That's all you wanted to do was sit up there and look at it. Then they had a bunch of news photographers there with their big cameras, and there must have been 30 or 40 of them. They informed me that myself and some other individuals were going to be awarded the Medal of Honor at the White House in Washington, D.C. President Eisenhower would present the awards. I didn't believe them. I thought they were making a mistake, and I thought, well, surely they messed up. Well, it was on the front porch of the Rose Garden of the White House. Now, President Eisenhower, he wanted to know, since I was a prisoner, how I was treated, you know. I wanted to know what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I told him, of course, I intended to remain in the Army. He says, well, good. You made a good selection. We had a lot of men killed out there that night. Had more men killed than more men that got out alive. I think that I received the admiration and all the things that goes with it because those men out there did the dirty work. They did what needed to be done out there. I just happened to be out there with them. They respected me and I respected them. And the evidence I'm bringing out to you, somebody put that message, that bandage across my neck. That's the only thing. If it hadn't been for the respect they had for me, I wouldn't be alive today.